I don't know about you guys, but I'm boiling hot in here. I've got fans on everywhere, but it's just not enough to counter this humongous heat that's going on right now. I think it's 37 degrees today. But anyway, the most important thing about today's video is, of course, UFC Baku, guys. We are finally 2 days away from UFC Baku. Today I'm filming on Thursday, probably coming out tomorrow. So when you're seeing this, we'll be 1 day away from UFC Baku. And I'm here to do my predictions video and my preview of UFC Baku for those who are going to be watching or betting on this fight card. And of course, this is going to be a huge card because this is the first time that UFC are in Azerbaijan. So this is a huge event. Obviously, being the fact that Jamahal is back against Khalil Roundtree, who of course was supposed to fight Jamahal a few months ago, but he pulled out of the fight due to injury. So I'm very happy that this fight is finally happening. And let's get into it. So kicking off the prelims card, we have Kamaru Usman's brother coming back. Mohamed Usman has a current record of 11 victories and 4 defeats, and he will be taking on Abdel Wahab. Abdel Wahab being at 6-0 for now. A bit controversial, of course. His last victory was, he very much scraped the victory here, but he still got it. So he's still undefeated, and he'll be taking on Kamaru Usman's brother, Mohamed Usman. And I think that this fight will not go in Abdel Wahab's way because I think Kamaru Usman's brother is just that much better than Abdel Wahab. So I'm going to say Abdel Wahab, good luck. But I'm not predicting the prelims card. So whatever happens, happens. But I think Mohamed Usman has this fight in the bag. Other notable fights on the card is Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maksum. Tagir we've seen a few times come into UFC, so he is currently at 16 victories to 2 defeats. A fight to watch out for. So that's the second fight on the prelims card. I suggest for you guys to watch the prelims. I know it's going to be very early where some of you are. In France, it's going to be going on at 6. The prelim card starts at 6 and the main card starts at 9 p.m. So I'm, of course, very happy compared to some of the Americans in the audience. And, of course, we have the return of Park Jan-yong. Park Jan-yong is, of course, coming back. He is currently at 18 victories and 6 defeats. And he will be taking on Ismail Nordiev, who has currently a record of 24 victories and 7 defeats. So we're going to see how that fight goes down for Park. He's been around for a long time in the UFC. And, he's at the ripe old age of 34. Ismail at 28. And on the featured UFC Baku ESPN Plus prelim, we have Ko Sig Hyun versus Oben Elliott. Oben Elliott, of course, coming back to the UFC after a long hiatus. We've not seen him for quite some time. I met Oben Elliott. I'll insert a photo of us together at UFC London. He was, of course, supporting some of the guys on the UFC London card. He was super nice. And yeah, it was a great time. And one of the best fighters to meet and talk to because he's very much an open person, very kind-hearted. So a real good guy, and I'm excited to see Oben Elliott finally back in a UFC octagon after all this time. So he'll be on the featured prelim of the UFC Baku card. And let's get on to the main card. Mohamed Naimov is taking on Bogdan Grad in the first fight on the main card of UFC Baku. And I'm going to go straight in and say that Grad will get the victory here via decision or a late stoppage in this first main card fight. Next up, we have the returning Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Mota. And I think that Sadikov has this fight in the bag. He's currently at 10 victories to 1 defeat. And Nicholas Mota is at 15 victories to 5 defeats. But I think that Sadikov will get this one quite easily via first or second round finish. Next up, we of course have the returning Olabi. Olabi is making his return after months and months and months. We've not seen him yet. And he'll be taking on Tafik Musayev. And of course, I'm going to go for Olabi via first or second round finish. I put my money on that. Honestly, I'll put my money on that. But great to see him back. It's been a very long time since we've seen his hat, his traditional Kazakhstani hat that he wears to the octagon every time. So it's been a while, and I can't wait to see him back. Next up, we have the returning Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev, who is making his UFC debut on the UFC Baku card. But I'm going to go for Curtis Blades, of course, because this man is a machine and he deserves his flowers. Honestly, Curtis Blades, I like this guy and I want him to go far in the heavyweight division. I hope he goes far, and I think he has what it takes to go far in this division. And I think he'll get a first or second round KO over his opponent, Kuniev. It will be some great heavyweight action, I think. Next up for the co-main event, of course, we have the returning Rafael Fiziev, who just fought Justin Gaethje and lost via decision in March, and we're seeing him back in June against the one and only Ignacio Bahamondes. Ignacio being a very violent striker, a very active fighter, and a very dangerous opponent for Fiziev. And of course, a lot of people are saying Fiziev has this one in the bag. He's just been toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje. He may have lost that fight, but it wasn't easy to knock him out. Fiziev just wouldn't shut his lights off. So I think, honestly, that Bahamondes has got a long fight ahead of him, and it's going to be a hard task to put away Fiziev. Now, is he going to be able to put away Fiziev? That's the question. I honestly think that he won't. I think that this fight will go to a decision. I think Bahamondes will get the victory here, but he'll get the victory via decision, or if he's lucky, a third round submission or finish. But I'm not sure he'll be able to finish Fiziev, honestly. But I don't think Fiziev will win this fight. He's a slight favourite, Bahamondes. I think he's just slightly favourite, but it's a pick-me fight. Really is a pick-me fight. And of course, for the main event, we have Jamahal Hill versus the one and only Khalil Rountree Jr. Khalil Rountree, of course, we haven't seen him since he lost against Alex Pereira for the title in his 4-round main event against Alex Pereira, where, of course, he was knocked out in the 4th out of 5 rounds. It was the most insane fight that we've seen in a long time. One of the best fights of the year. And he's coming back after that. A long layoff, of course, to get his injuries healed up. He had a lot of intense, deep scars on his face, and you can still see the scars on his face today from his fight against Alex Pereira. Now, he has, of course, Khalil Rountree, a big Muay Thai background, and I set a photo of his shorts that he has for UFC Baku. He has a custom pair of shorts for UFC Baku. Very nice. Some of the designs are based on his own tattoos from Thailand that he got on his back. And some of the designs, the mountains that you'll be seeing on his leg, on the bottom of the shorts, are the mountains in Vegas to represent Vegas, where he trains, where all his training partners are, and where, of course, the UFC lives. And so he's incorporated his Thai tattoos with his Vegas background, with, of course, his whole thing. And he, of course, referenced Muay Thai on his shorts, of course, as well, which I think is cool. And his Muay Thai background, of course, will be very handy against a Jamahal Hill, who is a very dangerous striker. This will be a striking fight, guys. Both guys are going to stay on the feet. There won't be any takedowns. I don't think Khalil will shoot for a takedown. I don't think Jamahal will try either. So I think this will stay on the feet, and Khalil will have to use his Muay Thai background to get a one-up on Jamahal Hill, who is a very dangerous striker. But Khalil will be able to catch, I think, Jamahal Hill, because Jamahal Hill is a great striker, but he has a tendency to strike endlessly without any aim to them. So aimlessly striking, probably landing half of those. That would be a good opportunity for Khalil Rountree to capitalize and get a right hook in there and knock him out. Now, Jamahal Hill is not easy to knock out, but we've seen Alex Pereira do it. We've seen a few people do it. And I think that on Saturday night, Khalil Rountree will try and do that. I'm going to be guessing that this fight will go until the 3rd or 4th round. And within the 3rd and the 4th round, Khalil Rountree will get a KO on Jamahal Hill, probably via TKO ground and pound. Now, I was quite torn between both guys, because Jamahal Hill is the better striker of the two of them. If you look at his record, if you look at both guys' records, and you compare who they've lost to and who they've won to. However, if you compare how they wore both of them against Alex Pereira, who is, of course, the same fighter, he may have approached the fight differently for Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree, but I don't think there was a huge difference in his training for both fights. So I'm thinking that based on that, Khalil Rountree has more striking precision and will be able to wear down Jamahal Hill until he gets that KO. I think the fight will be similar to the fight we saw between Jamahal Hill and Yuri Prochazka. I think that would be the most similar type of fight in that sense. Both will stay on the feet and outstrike each other until one of those guys will fall. And I think this time around, it will be Jamahal Hill who will be on the ground. Whether he knocks him out clean or whether he has to go down from some ground and pound, I don't know yet, but as Khalil Rountree says, he will finish him however he wants. So that's my predictions for the UFC Baku. The card is amazing. I'm very happy to see them in Baku. Apparently, Baku is an amazing place. Azerbaijan is an amazing country, apparently, and they're having a great time exploring whilst waiting for the fight. It was quite difficult to start with, being acclimatized to the time frame in Baku, but apparently all the fighters are very much acclimatized. They've been here for at least 1 to 2 weeks already, so all fighters are arrived. We just need to wait for the weigh-ins tomorrow morning and see if everything goes smoothly from there. Hopefully everyone will make weight and we won't have any late cancellations, because I think getting fighters over to Baku in less than 12 hours will be a little bit tough. But we'll see what happens. What do you guys think of this UFC Baku card? Are you excited and impressed by the fighters we're going to be seeing on Saturday night? Who's going to be watching this fight card, considering the time difference is going to be a little bit difficult for some people? I hope most of you guys who are watching, and most guys around the world that are going to be watching the UFC cards every week, are going to be able to put themselves in front of a television and watch this card, because this is going to be a real great fight. At least watch the main card if you can't get the prelims, but the prelims are going to be very interesting from the get, so I wouldn't miss a minute of the prelims either. I would not be missing the prelims over anything in the world, apart from if there's a huge emergency. But this main card will be great. Great to see Curtis Bates coming back. Great to see Barmandes versus Fiziev. That would be a great co-main event. And of course, the main event will be very exciting. So let's see what goes on. Let's see what happens. And let me know your predictions for these fights in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe as usual. And we'll see each other next week for an episode of my podcast where we go over UFC Baku and next week's fight card. See you later.